Hi, as you might have guessed, it's my Instagram. This year, we have an amazing program at International Filmmaker Festival of New York. It's a Jubilee 10th edition, and I can't wait to talk to jury members of International Filmmaker Festival of New York. We have 5 jury members. Hi, Asis. Hi, Caucasus and Overseas. Hi, Tanya, Denisa, Astimir. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to see you all. So, today I have 5 special guests, and these are incredible filmmakers, teachers, incredible people, talented people from all over the world. And my first guest is Robert. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Larry. Oh, that's a legend, He's a Pulitzer Prize nominee. Oh, I can't wait to ask about Pulitzer Prize, about your career as a journalist. So we are waiting for Robert, and after Robert, we have Asis, Larry, Victoria, and Sabrina Moreno, jury members of International Filmmaker Festival of New York. So, how are you guys? I hope you are doing well. Victoria is from France. Larry is from the United States of America. Asis Sethi from Canada, winner of IFFNY 2020, just as Victoria Yakuba with her film Alma John. We all remember that fantastic film. So beautiful, so deep. Okay, I have a guest. Hold on, who is that? Larry. Okay, Larry, if you want to go. While we're waiting for Robert. Sorry, Robert. You'll go next. Okay, Larry, accept. Hi.
Oh, I am kind of new at this,
How
so I
have
thought
you
you'd already
been?
lost me.
Yes.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Excellent. I'm just going to sit here and wait till you call on me.
You are so handsome, so dressy. As if it's like a live, offline edition of International Filmmaker Festival of New York. I truly appreciate it. Do you
Well,
remember we met
that-
at Astoria Kaufman Studios
so,
in 2018?
yes, that was a great event. And of course, I tell people I like to do the classic directors, and Mr. DeMille would always show up with his tie. So I figure with all these young people around me, they should see at least one old dinosaur, and that's kind of me.
Oh, come on, stop kidding. You are a brilliant filmmaker, but you're not just a filmmaker, you're also a journalist. You
Well,
are a lawyer. You have so many diplomas, different educations, and you are a Pulitzer Prize nominee, and if I'm not mistaken, a winner.
I was a nominee. I came in second. I didn't quite win it, but
Oh,
that was in my career uh, doing radio and television journalism. I tell people I'm just enjoying a second childhood. Actually, I don't think my first childhood ended. So, like a little kid, every time he sees a new toy, he plays with it. And
I see. Mine has just begun. My neighbor asked me, are you, studying at school? I'm like, no, I'm a PhD already. Forget about the school.
true. And they tell you once you get your doctor's degree, that's when your learning really starts. Especially.
Yeah, that's cruel, Larry. That's cruel. I just got mine, my PhD in arts, and I don't feel that my studies has ended.
Yeah, they tell you in martial arts when you get your black belt, and education when you get your doctors. Now you are just starting your studies, but don't tell anybody.
They're watching us. They're hearing this. So, Larry, tell me, what inspired you to make films?
Well, it's I think I always wanted to do movies. As I said before, when I was a little kid, a long time ago. I'm really an old guy, but I don't quite look it. But the great escape was watching movies, the classic movies, uh, and over the years, I would look at a movie, and to determine whether I liked it or not, I would say, what would I change in it? If I go through a movie and would change nothing, I said, that's great. Sometimes I'll go through a movie and I will change this, that character's wrong, you know, these scenes are out of order. And so I was always re-editing them myself. But as I always tell people, I'm a retired lawyer. I practiced for 40 years, but I say all lawyers, but there are a few who aren't. But most lawyers are either frustrated writers or frustrated actors. And
I see.
yeah, I said I think I'm both. I've written a couple of novels, did a lot of research papers, but I always but you have to act in a courtroom, and so I started doing TV about 30 years ago, but I always liked my movies. Well, as it turned out, the movies came to Memphis for a number of years. The firm, the client, the rainmaker, and it just so happened my best friend was the location coordinator for it. So he said, "Okay, you want to be in movies?" I said, "All right, I can move from television to movies." So did some cameos in those, and I had an agent that put me in an acting class, and had really good acting teachers. And one of those was Craig Brewer, who went on to do Hustle and Flow, Tarzan. He just did Coming to America too, but he wasn't a big time movie director then. You know, he was teaching the acting class, and he was very good. And watch how he did his instruction. Not only teaching to act, he also set the stage for directing. Then he did his first independent movie, and I got to play a role in that, and saw how he shot his. And I'm always learning as I go along. I said, I think I can do that. So when he went off to shoot Hustle and Flow, I decided to shoot my first one, and that was General Sessions. It was about a day in court, something I was familiar with, and it went really well. And from then on, that was something I wanted to do. I'm a professor now full-time at the University of Memphis. And one of the things I like to, but some of the professors, they like to travel, some like to do golf, some like to play tennis. But I said, I want to use my spare time to make movies. And so it usually takes longer because, you know, we don't get 30 days to do 12 hours, but so it takes a little bit of time because we do it weekends, nights, but it allows us to work with a lot of people who otherwise wouldn't be available 24. And every time I make a movie, I say, this is it, but it does well. And so it inspires me to make another one. And it's great because I'm doing it because I love it. I mean, yeah, it is. I think it was Van Gogh who never sold a painting. He did it because he loved it. And I get to use some of the best musicians here in Memphis, and we've got a lot of good actors floating around. And since the movies don't come like they used to, I get kind of a choice of people I like to work with. And they always say, "Oh, we'd like to work with your movies because you get to go to the big film festivals and your movies get seen on television."
Or you're gonna sue them if they say no.
Yeah, I said, "Hey, look, you know, we're doing it because we like it, we love it, and at the end of the day, we have a product that, you know, you can show to your family, your friends, and it makes me feel good." I mean, it's one of those things where people sometimes ask, "Well, are you making any money in it?" And I said, "Well, you know what? I've got jobs."
Forget about it.
I
In independent cinema.
I said, this is one of those things where, you know, you pay to do the things you like. So the very fact that I don't have to pay to do this, you know, it's the best of all possible worlds.
I see, and the price is really high, you know.
Yeah.
I know there are so many brilliant musicians in Memphis, and I saw a musical Memphis on Broadway. It was amazing. And I wanted to say that, you know, in the court, you have interaction, a lot of interaction. And, you know, in films, you have more interaction and just more cameras, you know, but there are a lot of things, common things between law and films, right?
A lawyer has to be a good actor. Sometimes the first you have to act like you actually believe your client. you know, because sometimes they'll tell you stories that are outlandish, and every now and then the outlandish story will be true. But as a practical matter, they'll tell you that, and your first thought is, well, I'll act like I believe it right now. And then, of course, you have to act for the jury, and you know when to have to be dramatic and when to be sympathetic. And some of your best lawyers are also very, very good at setting stages. You have to create an image in a court, and so you get a lot of practice in uh, doing things that you ordinarily wouldn't do, but in order to give a complete picture, you somehow times have to dramatize the picture yourself. And so,
I see. So, Larry, I wanted to know, who is your favorite screen lawyer? For example, mine is Kevin Costner in the movie JFK by Oliver Stone.
mm, that is an interesting. I had never thought that before. Of course, I kind of like Madlock. It's Perry Mason. They're good, but they're very uh, structured. You know how the structure is going to go all the way through. But Madlock is kind of a down home. I'm a Southern boy, down home Southern guy. He knows how to act in court, and with a little bit of flamboyance and a little bit of modesty, and kind of all mixed in. So it's not the normal flavor you get with a hard nosed lawyer that's always on top of everything. There's a little bit of a softness there, and I kind of like that because you like Perry Mason because you know how it's going to go, but and the attitudes don't change, and I mean, I like Perry Mason, but like so you see one plot, you've kind of seen them all.
I see. So he knows how to lie, to act in
Yeah,
court. So there's nothing true in it, right?
yeah,
It's like, truth has nothing to do with all these cases.
yeah. Well,
So,
the funny thing about it, the law. I've done everything. I've done criminal. I've done civil. I've done civil rights. I've done government. And the thing about it is, your job is always to make sure, the really good lawyers tell you this. Your job is to make sure that your client's case is presented as well as you can. You have a
mhm.
case where all the evidence comes in, and your job is to make sure your guy do it. And in cross-examination, you realize they were 3 houses over. I had that. There's no way you could see the person from there. It sounds like you're being mean sometimes, but you want to make sure the truth can be challenged. You can challenge, in a down home way like Madlock, or in a curt way like Perry Mason. But if it's the truth, it's going to hang out there. Lies don't like to be challenged, and they fall apart under questioning. But when the truth holds up, I've had a case where every witness came up. There's 4 or 5 witnesses, and my client did it, and I went after him every way it was possible. And then after it's over, I told my client, I said, "Hey, look, we did everything they can, but their story is still there." Of
And
course,
he's
got
like,
convicted.
no, not everything. We can make a movie, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
This is
we
something we
can make.
haven't done. We have enough material for that, right?
Well, my first movie was going to be a week in court. It was very structured. Uh, we had the courthouse for a weekend. It was the 4th of July. It was 3 days. I told everybody to bring 3 costumes because we would mix up during the week. And we're on the set, and we're getting ready to go. And I get a call from the leading lady around whom the movie is going to be made. And she tells me she's changed her mind and not showing up. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, wait a minute, we got 200 people down here in the courthouse, and you're the main character, and you're not going to be there. And all she said was, well, good luck. And
Mm-hmm.
at that point, a friend of mine, Frank Craig, said, well, at that point, you should have just struck the set and recast. I said, no, if I struck the set, one, I couldn't get any of these people back here. Second, I wouldn't be able to get the court again. So I said, I'm going to make a movie, even if it's a bad movie. We will have a movie. So what I wound up doing was taking cases that I had tried. I mean, I knew them. And my cameraman, he had, the guy that was shooting, he was a very good documentarian, and he had been my cameraman producer for the 15 years when I had a cable TV show. He started shooting, and I started writing lines, and I started giving them to my cast. And we just, as we were going along, we would be shoot one scene, and I'm writing the next one, and it was complete jumble. They had one guy said, "I've never seen anything so confused." I said to myself, "Neither have I." But after it, but we got it together, and instead of being a week in court, I said it's just going to be a day in court, 24 hours, and we shot the scenes and we put them together. And even my cameraman said, "This is a movie," and he said, "I didn't see it." I said, "Well, it was in my head. That's the way it was put together." And it did very, very well. We won the best soundtrack in the New York International Film Festival. And
Wow.
our local PBS played it for 5 years. The lady, she just loved it. And a couple of my business law professors have used it in their classroom because they said, "Oh, that's the way it is in court. You caught the feel of the activity, the flow." And the funny thing about it is when we premiered the show in Memphis in one of the big theaters, the whole cast shows up, and everybody came out and says, "Is that the movie we shot? I was in it, but I didn't see that," because all they saw was the confusion. And of course, when 75% of the movie was written by somebody who didn't show up,
Mm-hmm.
it is going to be a problem. But to get back to what you said earlier, the thing that saved me was I had all these episodes. Some were kind of funny that I'd actually experienced as a lawyer. So I said, that's why lawyers said, "Man, that show looked real." I said, in fact, I had people who came up after and said, "That was real." I finally got to see a doc. I said, that wasn't really a documentary, but it felt so real because we use real cases. So that's where my lawyering actually saved me. Otherwise, that would have been the end. My movie career would have started and ended with that one movie.
I see. And I wanted to underline that you are so stylish. And, a lot of lawyers, I mean, they, I mean, the way they dress is just incredible. It's a fashion show. You just watch suits just
Yeah.
because you want to see guys in tuxedos. It's so cool. I love shows like this, and I noticed that lawyers. I mean, they
Yeah,
really try
that's
to dress dressy, classy, and always look awesome, just as you do. And by the way, your short matches your wallpaper, your
yeah.
wall. It's just
You must have a
as blue
degree in
as the
fine arts.
wall.
You sound like you got a degree in fine arts. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, have you ever noticed that?
Well, they used to call it yellow, a blue green, but I think they call it teal now. That's one of my favorite colors.
No, I see.
However, I did not notice that I was dressing to match the color of my room here. Uh,
It came naturally, right?
what I was working, we just finished summer school. I'm getting ready for another summer school, and I'm working on a script and a research. So I got to sleep very late last night, way later. So I'm going through and pulling things out, probably in my sleep. So I think that's just reflex. When in doubt, go teal. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, the other thing about lawyers is if you show up in a long time ago, we had one lawyer. He showed up at the Supreme Court in a leisure suit, which was really popular back in the 70s, and they threw him out and threatened to hold him in contempt of court. So you kind of want to look a little bit lawyery when you're doing that, and your clients expect it.
And who is my also like a number two favorite lawyer, after Kevin's Costner? Gregory Peck in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mockingbird.
He is incredible there,
Yeah,
right?
I saw that a couple of times. Uh, it's uh, in fact, that's in fact, I want to say I one of my novels was kind of great, you know, Kill a Mockingbird type. It wasn't as intense,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, it the whole thing about law is once a case has a life in itself, and it involves the client, the community, and there's always stresses there. They go beyond just what's in the courtroom, which is one of the reasons why I retired, because, you know, when you care about your clients, you know, sometimes they don't, you know, uh, the problem, somebody once asked me, how does it feel to represent somebody who is guilty? And I said, I don't mind representing somebody who's guilty, because if the facts are there, they're going to get convicted. And if the facts aren't there, then they shouldn't, you know, they shouldn't be sent to jail. But the thing I hate is representing somebody who is innocent. I mean, that is the worst feeling in the world, to represent somebody that you know is innocent, because one, the worst case scenario, they go off to jail. And and the second worst, and even if they don't go off to jail, they've been put through that stress of having, you know, to sit in jail and to be processed. And every day you're scared what's going to happen to you. So I said, I'd rather have guilty people, because guilty people, the justice is going to find a way, either the actual justice in that they will get convicted for their crime, or social, political, absolute justice, which says you can't convict somebody if you don't have the evidence. But whether they convict or don't convict with an innocent person, it really doesn't make a difference. So, you know, I lose. I've had a couple of people that were, even the prosecutors had doubts about it, that I knew were innocent, and those are the ones you really lose sleep over.
I see. So you're not looking for easy ways and easy cases. That's why you started making movies. Now I understand.
Oh, well, the great thing about movies and novels is that you can make the right things happen. You're in control of everything. You can make it end the way you want it to end.
Yes,
And
justice, you know, and the happy end, right?
I tend to be an old school person. After my people get beat up really bad in my novels or my movies, there's kind of sort of a happy ending. Usually, uh, I, as I get older, in fact, I think after I started practicing law, I almost stopped watching very, very dramatic things, because it would always bring back a case. It was like, oh my God.
Hmm.
I said, this way I can make it, I can use the cases I'm happy with, and I won't be be crying because, oh my goodness, that poor person. Uh, but you do have to have a sensitivity,
Yeah,
and one of
and you have a like a tune in your ear, but the memory remains, right?
the hey, don't play that song again. Yeah, but that was junior year in college. That was bad. Yeah, so those things are there. But you know, I'm looking forward to the festival. You know, the movies I saw were very, very good. You know, it was, it, and it everything was just. I was amazed. You know, and
By the program.
the program and the depth of feelings that
Hmm.
you could catch was
I'm glad.
amazing.
And
Uh,
you enjoyed your experience as a jury member, right? Was that your
well,
first experience like that?
those, well, I'm sorry. You know, we lawyers have a reflex when you say jury. My first thought is jury. Yeah, but yeah, you know, oh, not that kind of jury. For a movie jury, yes, it was. You know, and I watched it. Some of those I watched with my hanky in my hand, going, "Oh my goodness!" But
And you
they were,
slept well after that, right? Not not as in the court
yeah, you
when you were a
can't,
jury.
yeah, you can't cry in court. You know, it is. It's but it was one of those things where you're saying that I could feel, and that's one of the things that affects when I watch movies. I can actually put myself there. My baby sister loves horror movies. I said, I can't watch horror movies because I always put myself in there. And she said, I never put myself in there. I just laugh at those people who are in there. I said, I can never laugh at somebody who's in a situation. I can always relate to them. And that way, sometimes I go to a movie and it's a sad movie. I want to sit there with two handkerchiefs sometimes. So
I see.
the create that. I like to create those feelings and get you there, but I don't necessarily want to break. I don't want you to break down in tears. And people say, yeah, I could feel it. I could feel it in the movies, in the music you got. And yet there's kind of a, I like things that have kind of an uplifting quality. Some directors, they want to get into you and make you feel how rough the world is. I don't, by beating you up. I want you to kind of feel it, but I don't want to beat you up with it.
Yeah, you don't want audience to suffer, right? While watching a movie.
Well, it's interesting. Some people love to suffer. It's like, oh, that was awful. I'm thinking, oh no, that was I don't want, and I think for some people, sometimes there may be a little bit of sadistic behavior there, and that, oh boy, that person is really suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess they like watching the other person suffer because that makes my life look better.
I mean, I like horror films, but I want to watch something that's scary, but not disgusting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, my son loves horror movies, and I said, but they scare me. And he said, Dad, you're a grown-up, so come out from under No, I could feel everything that the poor, victims in the movies are feeling. I can do the adventure kind of stuff where it's kind of more about action as opposed to Jack the Ripper type things. And that's a great thing about movies. The spectrum is so wide open. There's so many things that you can do, so many directors,
mm-hmm.
which means there's a lot of room for a lot of people to do whatever they're most comfortable with. And it's like having a department store where whatever department you want, you can go and find that department and get
and buy whatever you want, right?
Right.
Depending on your taste. And I can't wait to watch your new films, features, documentaries, whether it's short or maybe animation. You never know, what's next, right? I can't wait to watch your new works, and I wish you best of luck, Larry. I'm so happy to see you like 3 years later, since Astoria opening party.
That was, anybody who comes to the festival, it is a great time. I'd like to have something in the next festival coming up, but definitely in the within 2 years. And I may just come to the festival next year just to be around all the nice people. So thank you for having me on. I was afraid I was not going to be able to.
Don't worry, I'll delete you somehow. I'll remove you. So hold on.
You sound like all my old girlfriends.
It's changed.
I didn't even know I was deleted. I was gone. No, thank you for having me. And I'll look to see you in the next festival.
Yes, live, hopefully it will be offline and in the heart of independent cinema in New York City.
I'm looking forward to it.
Bye, Larry.
Bye.
Yes. So let me invite our next guest, Robert Haufrecht. Robert, can you see me? I hope you will accept, and we'll see you.
Okay.
I still see Larry. Oh, wow, we have more options. Hi. Hi. How are you, Robert?
I'm good. I tell you, I don't know about you, Larry, but I'm sort of a social media phobic kind of person. So when they were trying to tell me how to do this thing, and my wife was telling me, "Oh, it's simple. You do this, you push that, you push the other thing, you push this thing," and then I got a schedule saying that I was going first. So I'm going, "Oh my God, it's nah, 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 nah," and I'm freaking out, of course, saying, "Oh, I screwed it up. I'm not going to be
No,
on it."
no, you
You
didn't.
know,
I was
so
late.
I was happy to
Sorry.
finally find you. And Larry, I'm just like overwhelmed with your experience and knowledge. It's mountains of past what I come from theater, first of all, and I'm probably the oldest juror here, and so I come from a very different background, and
But quite different,
so
a lot of lies there too, just as in
hey,
court.
dobre den.
Yeah. Uh,
People lie nonstop.
Why is your volume so? Your when I heard you speaking with him, the volume was very loud. Now your voice is very kind of a little soft. I'm not sure of the technology here. Maybe it's because there's the three of us. Um, but it's interesting being Russian. I just this past week I just finished shooting a short that takes place, a lot of it in Brighton Beach, which is, I don't know if you know, it's Little
A lot of
Odessa.
Russians live there.
Everybody's Russian. I had a Russian actress. I had to get my sister to speak a few Russian words, and it was a trip to say the least.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway,
That's really exotic, We need more films like that. And I can say
yeah,
Russian.
I mean, it was tiring, but it was a 3-day shoot. We compressed it, and it was a lot of fun,
That's awesome.
But
That's awesome.
I'm very. Now I want to see your movies, Larry. I'm super curious. I have 2 previous shorts. They're all called Subterranean Love, with a different sort of angle to it. And the 2 previous ones just got on a streaming site called Global Cinema Online. It's for nonviolent films, which is interesting. So
yeah.
that's
I've got my first movie and the last movie. They're on YouTube right now.
I don't. Why is the volume so low? I'm in the 3 of you. Let me just see if it's me.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but
Even I can hear myself from your phone.
there we go. I bumped up the volume.
Yeah, and you're like me. This is the first time I tried to use this, and it was I thought I had lost it altogether. So when I actually found myself on the screen, I said, I need to go to the casino. This is a lucky day for me.
I felt like like an infant having a tantrum trying to work this social media thing out.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
Robert, I wanted to ask, have you enjoyed your experience as you do remember at IFFNY?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, have you enjoyed your experience as you do remember?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I had a little bit of outside work, and then I was preparing for this film, and with the SAG after regulations, et cetera, and putting people together and so forth and so on, planning it out, and having to watch all these features, it was a little bit of pressure. But I enjoyed it, and it was I don't know about you, Larry, but what I found was, oftentimes I felt like I'm judging apples and oranges. It's like there's some really good quality films. There's some very good acting, but they're kind of like different animals, and picking number one well, I have my favorite, but but there were a number that were, you know, hey, is the cinematography good in this one? Yeah, it's great. It's just very different from the other one. You
Yeah.
know, is this actress or actor great? Yeah, really good, but it's a different kind of a role. You know, is it more demanding? Is it not? You know, it's one of those things. I mean, in all fairness, and I've had my films in a number of festivals here internationally, and and it's really just an honor to get into the festival itself, and I'm sure you've had the experience. Well, I had an interesting experience. I had one of my shorts got into there was a festival in the Cayman Islands, and great, go to the Cayman Islands. Oh, sure, why not? Um, and so I met this kid who was working on with the table with the people on the staff, and he says, "Oh, I was the one who judged your film, who watched your film. So it's like," and the kid was like, and it's kind of a mature film, right, with older people, and the kid was like maybe 18, 20, I don't know, and I thought that's interesting, but I hate to say it, but oftentimes it's a crapshoot of, like, you got five people watching, for submissions, and somebody liked it, somebody doesn't. I mean, it's a whole interesting process.
Yes, and each film is great in its own way, and we have a
Yeah,
brilliant jury member team, and international and different people of different backgrounds, different ages. So it's really cool.
exactly.
That's the way
It,
it
it,
should be.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I try to keep myself open in terms of viewing, but I'm some of the stuff was just wonderful to watch, and it there's no I don't think there's a single standard for you know making a judgment on these films. Yeah, there are some that like stand out. There are some that you say, um,
Uh-uh.
you know, yeah. I mean, I believe me, I'm very judgmental,
Yeah, I know.
and
You
and
are
very
a
opinionated,
teacher.
right? And sometimes I've gone to festivals and I'm going, how did that film get in, and this other one, somebody else's film didn't get it, so I tend to be like that. Um, uh, but it's an interesting process.
Rob, I
Um,
wanted to know, how often do you say to yourself, I want to work with this actor again?
um, well, it's funny. I mean, I come from acting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been. I'm not a member of the Actor Studio, but I've been a finalist. I've been in the Directors Playwrights Workshop, the Directors Playwrights Unit. So I know a lot of people from the Actor Studio, both not famous and famous. Um, and it's not like I've done shorts, right, late in my life, and I know the actors. I know who I want. I don't really have to go to casting. I mean, I have small casts, but I don't have to go to casting. And there's certain actors that if I had a script, I'd like to work with them. Oddly enough, I have, I don't know if it's ever going to get done, but I love film noir. I love crime and suspense and detective stuff. And I have a film noir script that I would love to direct in black and white, that takes place in New York and Greece.
Wow.
And the femme fatale is a Russian,
Mm-hmm.
oddly enough, or interestingly enough.
You
And it's a
decided to
funny
go
story.
international.
You know, so there are certain actors that, oh yeah, I'd like to have this person in that role. You know, um, it's interesting. My second short, there was a part of a Romanian ex-boyfriend who shows up, and the lead actress is Romanian, um, and she's a member of the studio, and you know I know her, and we had a Romanian actor, but he couldn't do it. He was a performer and dance, so he was going to be getting work in theater. So we had met this Greek actor who was observing at the studio, and she said, "Oh, what about him?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, he could be, you know, there's only a few lines. You could teach him Romanian." And she said, "Well, he could be Greek who's been in Romania." And she says, "I know a few Greek words." So great, meet the guy, and he's great, nice guy, and uh, so forth and so on. So she calls her sister, who happens to be a doctor in Greece, and she says, "Oh, this guy Stratos Tsotsouglou is going to be in this film." And she says, "Oh my God, he is a star in Greece." You know, so
And you're like, FY Store, who's telling me that?
and and he was it was his first film in the United States, and he loved me, loved working with me. He was great. You know, we've become good friends. I've gone over there, and you know, he's like a king on Crete. You know, we were like meeting producers and so forth and so on, and trying to set up locations and whatnot. You know, he gets us a villa for free. You know, I mean, it's funny how things work out like that. I'm sure you've had similar experiences, Larry. Uh,
So
you know that
what's the name of that Greek actor, if it's not a secret?
Stratos Tsotsouglou.
Oh, I see.
And he's all over, and he's married to a very glamorous young woman, and he's all over they're all over Instagram and you know Facebook, whatever. Um, he was very famous, did a lot of shows in Greece since he was young. And when I went over there the first time, you know, we were walking around in Athens, and everybody wanted to stop and take a picture with him. You know, it was fun, but he's very down to earth, good guy.
I
You know.
see. I wish you best of luck with your project, and it sounds real to make it in New York and in Greece.
Well, it's a long way to Tipperary. It's been honestly it's been dragging. I don't know. You know, you can make a movie for a few $100,000 or a few, you know, $1 million, 2 million. You know, with the technology they have and the different pay scales that there are. You know, I'm not I'm not good at raising money. I need
That's makes too.
definitely
Yeah.
help there. But I mean, I think it seems to me it's just as hard to raise 100,000 as it is to raise, you know, 2 or 3 or 5 million.
Yeah, it's also very difficult to raise 10 grand.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so you know, I'll probably do a fund me or you know,
Crowdfunding.
some kind of a social media fundraising thing to get a little money for a post. But you know, I put it up. We did it. We shot it with a Sony AS7 III. That actually, Sortsoglou's son is living in Astoria, a very Greek part of, you know, New York, and is a young filmmaker, and he lent us the camera and a few other gear, and I had the cinema lenses, and you know, I'm working with the same DP/editor that I did on my other 2 films, and we work very well together. Very talented young guy, and so you know, could do it for a few $1,000s. You know, I'm not a cinematographer. I'm not an editor. I know what it does. I know how. You know, I know about doing it. I know about lenses. I know about, you know, what I can get in editing and so forth and so on. I'm just not hands-on with it. I wouldn't trust myself shooting a, shooting a movie.
By the way,
Uh,
an outstanding editor is watching us right now. His name is Schneid, and he is a César Robert Phoenix winner and BAFTA nominee.
wow,
Yes.
wow.
Hi, Hervé.
Well, if he'll do it for a discounted price, I'll use him on my next project.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah, it's fun.
But I mean, here at the International Filmmaker Festival of New York, so many talents meet and later they collaborate. So you never know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know what your how much film history you are. I mean, it's interesting. So there are young people who know film history, and others who don't. I grew up in, came of age in the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So my artistic sensibilities were really heightened by those, cinema verite, the European wave of films. That was like a whole other jump from the big Technicolor Hollywood films. That's where I try to go.
Yes, and you know what? If you want to make great films, you need to learn the history of cinema. You must watch outstanding films. You must know, all these
Well,
great classical films.
you've been in New York City, yes?
Of course, yeah. It's my favorite
Of course.
in the world.
Okay. So this is interesting. I'm what they call a red diaper baby. I don't know if you know what that is, Larry?
Oh yeah, it is usually.
My parents were American communists.
Yeah, they were very
Okay.
communist. It's very popular.
Listen.
They had major in the 20s when they thought everybody was going to be a communist. That's where the red diaper babies came
And
from.
especially in the 30s during the Depression,
Yeah.
it was most American communists were very idealistic. It was for civil rights and labor unions, et cetera, et cetera. My family, we knew Paul Robeson, we knew
Wow.
Pete Seeger, all these people I've met, Ben Davis. Where am I going with this? So my mother would take me. There used to be a Russian movie theater
Wow.
on 43rd Street and 8th Avenue that showed Russian movies.
Wow.
With the subtitles. So I used to see some of those old Russian movies that were like from the 1950s. It was really interesting stuff.
I wanted to ask about Paul Robeson. That's incredible. Have you seen him live?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know your history, but there was a big rally for him up in Peekskill that Pete Seeger was, and I was there.
Wow.
And the feds hired all these goons to raid this rally, and they started attacking and throwing rocks, and we jumped in the bus, and Pete Seeger was sitting in front of me, and the rocks were flying through the windows. I had glass. I was like 5 years old, and glass all over my chest. Seeger got hit in the head. Actually, it's very funny, but just before that, unknown to me at the time, my father, who was was a composer, but he also did a lot of folk music research and so forth. That's how we knew Pete Seeger. And he and Pete and Paul Robeson got in this Jeep. Pete Seeger lived up on this Mount Beacon, and they were being chased by the feds, and they went up this mountain in the Jeep. they turned one way and the feds took the wrong cutoff, and then they coasted down the mountain with the motor off to get out and just got to the bus in time. You know, it's a famous incident
Wow.
in the history.
I mean, he's a legendary actor and singer. He was very,
Yes.
very popular in the Soviet Union. He came
Yes,
to
of
Soviet
course.
Union a few times, and I mean, he wanted to work with Eisenstein, but I mean, they didn't make it,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And I love his performance as the Emperor John, and
Yeah.
legendary and first actor who plays Jim Harris on Broadway in All God's Children Got Wings. Incredible,
Yes.
just a brilliant actor. And
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was. It's a sad story. I mean, he was destroyed, and you know, and he was frankly manipulated by the Soviet Union to a certain extent. Um,
his filmography and his you know, works on Broadway and off Broadway in London, you know, it's incredible, you know. And probably Charles Gilpin and Paul Robeson are the greatest actors of the, you know, of that time, you know.
yeah,
Unfortunately, I
And
always tell my students, pioneers are always the ones that catch the arrows. Yeah, because it's not very easy being a pioneer. You know, because I came up in the 50s and 60s, and wherever I went, it was like integrating, and it was rough. But it comes with the territory. You know, you can't be a pioneer if you got really thin skin, because things are going to happen that are not going to be fair. You can see the distinctions that aren't working. But in order to get to the next level, you just have to bulldoze on through. And Robeson kept his head up at all times, even when it looked like his own government was trying to destroy him.
oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, my father was blacklisted from one music publishing company, and he edited and arranged music for for ASCAP and BMI. He later went to BMI, and my mother was called in for questioning, you know, for the House on American Activity. Yeah, so went through. It was quite legendary.
Sure.
Yeah, I knew. What's the name? Philip Hayes, who wrote this piece about Robeson, and I think that it was on Broadway, if I recall. So, yeah. But
and his
back to the
legendary
film.
performance as Othello
Oh, yes.
in England and
Yeah.
in the USA.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, had it not been for this, for the way the government went after him, you know, and he never, you know, some of the people who were blacklisted, et cetera, came back, you know, after McCarthyism died. And he was, it was sad. He was never able to, you know. I don't know everything about it. I was just talking to, I go to my little favorite coffee shop and meet interesting people, and I met a guy who was saying, well, I come from Broadway and da-da-da, and he said, you may not know, he says, I was the last assistant. I was a choreographer and a dancer, and that's what I wanted to do, and I was the last assistant for, do you know Jerome Robbins? I'm going, do I know Jerome? Who Jerome Robbins is?
Who doesn't?
You know, who doesn't, exactly. So he was an interesting guy, but he was saying that, you know, Jerome Robbins, because he was gay, the FBI said, if you don't testify, if you don't name names, we're going to out you. And this is back in the 50s. And he named Zero Mostel. I didn't know this, but and the guy was saying that, you know, Zero's son Josh wrote about it, that it was like for a while, very hard for him. Couldn't get a job for a while. That was our American history.
I see. Thank you so much for joining, Robert. I hope you enjoy our festival. It's an honor to
Oh
have you
yes,
as a jury
absolutely,
member.
absolutely.
Can't
It,
wait
it,
to watch your films, and I wish you best of luck with your new project, new international project. And I'll be the first to watch it because I really love Greek history and, American history. I'm a specialist in American drama, so in Eugene O'Neill's
I,
work in particular. That's why I love Paul Watson so much.
I also like the aesthetic of black and white, which recently sort of made a resurgence with Roma and a few other films. It 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 gives you a very different feeling.
Yeah, you can focus on actors, on the story itself, not on the colors and special effects, only actors, close-ups. It's
and 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 it has a certain dramatic impact on you.
yes. I have one
Yeah.
film made in black and white, The Movie Man, and it's a screen version of Eugene O'Neill's one-act play of the same title, The Movie Man, and it's so cool. I love it. Kate Taylor,
What's the name of the film?
The Movie Man.
Oh, The Movie Man.
Yes,
I
and
don't know.
New York-based visual artist made a beautiful, colorful poster. Kate Taylor, she made it, but the film is in black and white, so it's so awesome. I really love it. It's like
I'll have to,
1914,
wow.
classic.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Well, listen, Larry, when you make your next movie, if you need an old character actor, I'm available.
Hey,
Actually,
we
Larry
get,
thinks that he's a dinosaur,
yeah, we're probably the same age. So we have two dinosaurs in there.
I'm going to be. I will admit, I'm going to be 77 next month.
Then you got me beat by 5 years.
But no one
Okay.
else.
Well, you look great.
Yeah, I'm 72, going on 73.
No
So
way.
my agent says you can't send me out for anything over 45 because they won't believe it. But when they see me walk, they know I'm over 65 because I'm crawling. I'm thinking I'm going to log out because you're getting some feedback. I don't know if it's from my mic or Robert's, but I really enjoyed the interview, and I can't wait to see the results of the festival online.
Yeah.
And I am afraid to pronounce your first name, Amina, because whenever I try to pronounce the name, I always get it wrong. So how do you pronounce your name? Amina.
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 Yes.
I'm always afraid to say any name that I'm not familiar with because they'll look at me and say, "What did you just say?" I just call your name. So that's not it at all. Okay, I got that one right. Thank you very much for helping me, Robert. You're good talking to you too. I'm saying so you sound like a historical character too with some of the incidents that you've gone through with your family.
Oh yeah.
So,
Thanks for joining.
So I am going to log out, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Take care.
See you later, Larry. And let me add another jury member, Asis.
And I'll get your email somehow, Larry.
Yeah.
And
I
stay
mean, I can give you his email.
stay in touch. Yeah. Yeah.
Asis, hi.
Hello, how are you? I have my daughter with me.
Oh, hi. How have you been?
Fell down. She
I see. Asis is a jury member of International Filmmaker Festival of New York and the winner of IFFNY 2020.
yeah.
Yes.
So much fun. Thank you for honoring our we got
something with the sound. I hope you enjoyed
Yes.
the experience as a jury member.
Yes, I did. I had so much fun watching some incredible films. There were films from all over the world, you know, Canada, Colombia, Sweden, and about all they were all from, and they all had a very there was mental health. There was situation in Colombia, drug, uh, from there were so many brilliant films that which film should be awarded or which actor should be awarded. They all
I had the same dilemma.
right. I was telling Rick, they're all brilliant. One of my first films that were so incredible, but I obviously have my favorite. Those are the two I like to, but nonetheless, such incredible watching the film, being a part.
So tell me, Asis, what are you working on at the moment?
I have a few projects on my videos for an artist. I month, and then I have films that I'm editing, and I have this year. Then I have my first feature film that I'm working on, and then a few other on television. So there are many projects.
I mean, that's awesome. Congrats on so many different projects and works, and good luck with all of them. I mean, a feature film is such a huge step forward in your career after your brilliant shorts.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Do you have
Where are
any
you?
acting
I was going to say, where are you located?
Me, I'm
Canada.
in Toronto.
In where?
Asis is from Canada.
Can you hear me?
Ah,
Yes, I'm from Canada.
in Toronto?
Yeah.
My cousin is a very well-known acting teacher, John Boylan.
Oh, in Toronto?
Yeah, there's a Center for the Arts. Been there, and he's acted in a lot of stuff up in Toronto and so forth. But he's a very well-known acting coach, teacher. If you look him up, John Boylan Center, the way you guys spell Center for the Arts.
Yeah. I will definitely. That's very nice.
Yes. That's
And
good to
Amina,
know.
are you excited for the festival?
I'm sorry.
Are you excited for the festival, Amina? And
Yeah. I mean, I am more than curious to see who wins what,
Yes.
and I hate to say it, but I'm really opinionated, so I have my favorite, and it's just like I was saying, I feel like you're judging apples and oranges sometimes. It's you have different kinds of films that have great quality, but they're different films. They're different kinds of films.
Don't worry, Robert. Some will win at our film festival, others will win at other film festivals,
Exactly.
I'm super excited about IFFNY 2021. It's a Jubilee edition, 10th edition of our film festival. It's so huge. We have a huge program, 100 projects from 43 countries. Program is really diverse. as always, but this year is like 3 times bigger, you know? So you had a lot of films to watch, and I'm
Well,
sure you had a lot of emotions.
I hope the festival next year in New York is live because I would love to participate, moderate, you know,
Oh, come back with your feature film, shot in New
with
York
my.
and Athens.
Well, listen, if you can find them any amount of money, let me know because I'm lousy at it,
You
and
know,
you'll be the
Orson
first to admit.
Welles used to say that he spent 90% of his life on search for money and only 10% on making movies. And he's
Movies,
like,
yeah, yeah,
something's wrong in this industry.
That is
yep, yep.
long.
And I saw another thing where he said he's got to have a good lunch to find the right actor.
I love it. Oh, so true.
Yeah.
So Asis, introduce your
So
daughter. What's her name?
You want to say hi? You're not in the bed.
Hello.
it's ironic because I just had a visit with my daughter this morning. She was in town and she left really just like in half an hour before these interview starts.
She's like,
But
oh,
my
can you
daughter,
stay longer?
she's a little older.
You have to go. I have an interview.
No, she wanted to see it, but she has to go upstate to go home. So, c'est la vie.
Yes.
Anyway,
Maybe you
I
guys
should.
can share your experience raising a daughter, you know? Maybe you have something in common.
Right.
Well, I probably had a fairly different experience. My daughter was my stepdaughter, but I adopted her, and she was only not even 2 when I became her dad kind of thing. Although I'm very good friends with her natural father. He and I are good friends. But I'm dad. That's how she is. So she's a psychic and she's a writer and a psychic. Yeah.
You mean psychic,
Sort of.
that kind of...
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. She's sort of well known. She has a couple of astrology. She does astrology. She has a couple of astrology books out, and she she had a big write up many years ago in the New York Times. And that's how she became
It's
popular.
interesting. There are a lot of people who say they are psychics, but they're not. You
Yeah.
really must have that gift. But most people don't. And the easy thing, to do to understand who is the real one and who is fake is to ask them, when will I find money for my project? And,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, you don't have problems with money. I'm like, I know you're not a real psychic.
And when
Yeah. 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 It's funny. I used to work in clubs, and I met all these sort of sleazy gypsies that would come in, and so I learned some of the gypsy words. So here in New York, occasionally you have your gypsies sitting out, read your palm and da da da. So I would always go by and say "Sar my san," and things like my few gypsy phrases that I know. So it's small, but
Enough to
do
play
they?
a psychic, right?
I know a few bad words and a few good words, So funny. I should probably sign out and let you take over a full interview. I'll watch it. How do I? Do you get rid of? Do you sign me off?
You sign out. You should press, I think, on that
Okay.
thing.
Tell me how I.
there's an X.
What do I do?
X above.
Oh. Nope.
There's an X.
Oh, I see. Hold on.
On top right.
Perfect.
Okay, you did it. So thanks to Robert for joining us today. And we have Asis and her beautiful daughter We
Say
have a
hi.
lot of comments. Cute baby Asis D. Cool. Wow, that's so cool. What else? Hi everyone. All the best. Mom, all the best for your projects. Aziz, Guna,
Oh,
Vyai,
thank
if I'm not
you.
mistaken. Who else? Bollywood Films, me. No, Bollywood Film Fame, Canada.
Yeah.
Says hi. How cute working from home. Yes. Yes, super excited for the future projects. Shwaita S, if you know who that person
Yes,
is.
is one of my best friends. She's actually a huge part of my production company.
Hmm. I
She
see.
she's in charge of everything. She does a lot of producing for me.
Yes, and Bollywood Films Fame Canada writes kiddos crash and work calls. Classic. Hi from India. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
everyone who just joined us. This is a live panel with jury members of International Filmmaker Festival of New York. It's a Jubilee 10th edition of our festival, and we are excited to have Asis Sethi from Canada. We talked to Larry from Memphis and to Robert from New York City. Shwaita S writes, hey, super proud of our very own Aziz. In India, D means sister. Yes, D. So that's so sweet. Wipshashafua, hi. Shuk.
Hey.
Ibrahim, hi. Wipshashafua, Shuk. Dalshit. So that one is for me, So it says good evening. It's evening
Aw,
here in Moscow, and it's afternoon in Canada and in United States, in New York, in Toronto, in Canada, where Aziz is at the moment. And Aziz, did you have such experience at other film festivals as a jury member, or this was your first experience?
yes, I have been part of a jury member for other film festivals as well. There's I'm not sure if you've heard of WIFT, Women in Film and Television. So I'm
Mhm.
also a member of that association, and I was on their jury for one of the um, film festivals that happen in Canada for women in film and television. So that was a great experience as well. I've also been jury for other film festivals as well, and I'm also a jury member for a few films that get chosen. Projects get chosen at Humber College, where I also teach film and television. So I've done it a few times, and it's always a great experience because you learn so much by watching other films, and you learn,
Mhm.
when you watch someone else's film, you also see, you also get to know their own voice, right? The voice
And
of
you
the camera.
also see how great your film is, right? If you have any doubts, sometimes, at different, festivals and screenings, you're like, okay, maybe, they do it better. And then you're like, oh my God, my work is a masterpiece. Sometimes you need to watch other people's work to understand how great your work is.
Right.
Such a hard worker, Seema Uppal. Amazing. We
Thank
have a lot of comments, Aziz. And also, please send the link of Canadian movie in YouTube.
you can
Gurpreet.
you can watch all of my films at Real Network. It's a Los Angeles based network where they have a lot of films online that are made by women or on women. It's called Real Women's Network, RWN.
Yes.
So I'm one of their featured filmmakers, and most of my films get shown there as well.
These are real filmmakers, not real housewives, right? Of Toronto. Not a reality TV show.
Yeah.
We have serious artists here, huh?
I
And
came out. Oh, it's
Guna
the
Gyari
movie.
writes, I hope some days we will work together, Aziz's mom. So-
Yes. Sorry, so unplanned. I came outside so that she can stay inside and play with her father, but it clearly didn't work out, and she followed me out. So,
I
but
see.
it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Yeah, and
Yeah, same
part
here, Aziz. Thank you for being a part of our festival this year and previous year. And please submit your next works, future works to our festivals. And I hope to see your films in the program of our festival and in the World Theater release.
Yes, next year for sure. And I'll be there in person next year.
Okay. See you there.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye.
And we have Victoria Yakuba. She will join me soon, hopefully. Aziza is beautiful. I mean, of course she is. In person would be amazing. Yes. I mean, in person is the best, you know. We all hope to host a festival next year offline. Online is awesome, but offline is the best. So I don't see Victoria. Let's try Sabrina Moreno, our another jury member from Argentina. So Sabrina, do you see me? Bye, Robert. Thanks for joining. Bye, Shwaita. So Sabrina. I don't see Sabrina. Hold on a sec. So while hi Victoria, hi. How are you?
Hello, darling. Just a moment. I'm trying to connect. I'm sorry. Me too. I'm not very good at all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
Me.
Hello.
Oh, hi. We have two. That's awesome.
Okay.
Hi, Victoria. How are you?
I'm so happy to see you again.
Yeah, long time no see, right?
Completely. Hello, girls, and thank you so much for organizing this festival, even in this situation. It's a big honor and huge joy.
Yes, and I wanted to ask, how has your life changed after winning at IFFNY 2020? Both of you. I want to know.
Go.
You
No,
go,
you,
Sabrina.
Victoria. You're the winner, so you should start.
Wow. I never thought about this question. It's the first thing. I was very proud for my team. And it gives you something that what you do, it's okay. You can just go on. And the most important thing is just give you a hope to be able to continue, and it's amazing. It's just like a huge gift. It's a huge honor. It's a huge everything. I don't know what to say more than that.
Yes, if you win at
Yeah.
IFFNY, then you start winning everywhere, It's just a great push in a career, and I told you that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and what about
Yes.
you, Sabrina? I mean, I saw your film at Berlinale Talents, after winning at IFFNY. How about
Yes, I agree. I mean, it's an honor to win something, but it's also a recognition for all the work done. And it's like you said, after we participated in New York, then we also won at a festival in Latin America, in Uruguay, Punta del Este, Uruguay. And we won also Best Film and Best Actress for Umbra, who is the protagonist.
Congratulations.
So, yes. And then the film now is seen in Russia in like 10 platforms. So it's like huge. It has traveled. So I'm very, very happy with all with all this travel that the film can make. And I hope to have the same luck for the next project.
awesome, and that's a real international acclaim when the film you did in your country is interesting for people overseas, in Europe, in Northern America, Latin America, everywhere, and it's it says that it's a universal work, so people can understand it no matter where they live.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's the nice part of making films, that
the
you
result.
can,
I agree.
yeah, and you can travel.
Excuse me,
No,
there is
but you
only
can
nice
travel
part
and
of making films. There
What?
is only
what?
nice parts of making films.
Well, yeah, but it's very hard. It's very hard work.
Yes,
But
but it's
yeah,
not good not to
you're
make
true.
films, no? When we are not making films, we are so miserable.
Yeah, that's true.
Victoria,
That's
not
true.
everyone is hugging their colleagues on set as you. So not everyone has a good
I'm sure
atmosphere.
Sabrina does. I'm sure Sabrina does.
So Sabrina's like, okay, we made this scene, we shot it. Now let's go and swim in the sea, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm so sweet, but yeah, it's hard work. It's
If you
hard work,
don't know, then you're definitely not sweet on set, you know.
and it's also you have to have fun while you're doing the film, and about what happens after. I mean, I think the great part is what happens after. You don't know.
Yes, you never know, where it
Yeah.
can win, where, it will be premiered first, It's always
Hmm.
uh, a gamble, It's just as love, a gamble, true gamble.
Yes.
No kidding. So, was this a first experience for you, Sabrina, to judge films?
Uh, Future films, yes, because last year I had to be jury also in two festivals, but more smaller here in local town in Córdoba where I am.
Mm-hmm.
One was for Video Minuto,
Mm-hmm.
like 1 minute video, and the other one was for script,
Mm-hmm.
for the best script prize. So it was like a training, and I really enjoyed it. But this is the first time that is international, and it's also for feature film that it's different. And also, I mean, in the program, I see the diversity you have. So it was like more complex and also more, I don't know if more, but it was very different. So I really enjoyed
It's like 100 minutes longer than the film you judged, all right? And each film is like that.
Exactly that.
Yeah,
It's exactly what it
yeah, it's like it's a lot of emotions and stories, and you also, I mean, we're like watching every film every day, so it was like being in the festival. So it was a really nice activity to make, because it was like I was in the festival previous because I
Yes.
was seeing the films before, but and in this panorama of pandemic and COVID, and being isolated, it was really good because I felt like when I went to some festival before. So it
Mhm.
was really, really joyful for me.
Yeah, so you had to judge short films, and here at IFFNY, you wanted to judge feature films, right? Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
Victoria,
It's a
what
great
about
experience.
you? I know that you were a jury member at different film festivals, and
Yes.
I saw a poster saying that you are a member at the film festival in Prague, right?
Yes, it was a couple of
In Prague.
them, Prague, Firenze, Roma. I don't remember all of them, but as
Yes.
really it was never it's my first time for feature films, and I must say I felt such a responsibility. I
Mm-hmm.
was not sleeping for one month.
Yes.
No, not 1 month, but 2 weeks for sure. And it's a very heavy word, judge, and I was there, I was judging a film. It's so impossible. And like Robert said, it's like choosing between orange and apple. I had also some favorites, and it was very hard,
Mhm.
very, very, very hard. But I want to tell you that it was an amazing selection. We have films from all over the world. It was like a voyage all over the world. It was amazing, amazing, amazing,
Hmm.
Yes, I'm glad.
interesting.
I'm glad you love the program. It's really incredible, really
Yes,
strong,
yes.
and the feature film major category, the biggest one, is really big, you know, is really
it's a huge honor and trust. And
outstanding.
I really thank you so much for this trust.
Yes, and you know
Yes.
what? We are happy to have all of you as jury members, and it's a tradition of IFFNY to have a winner of IFFNY next year as a jury member. So you see the connection, you see that something is happening after, and people become friends of our festival, and they stay, and they meet, they greet, they collaborate, and the atmosphere is really great. Everybody knows that. And I wanted to say, you said, you know, judging is like choosing between apple and oranges, right?
It's not me, it's Robert that said
Robert,
it.
yeah, I mean,
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing sentence. I will keep it.
Yeah.
yes,
It's
and
the best sentence because it is like that.
I don't see a problem for you, Victoria. You can just say that, of course, apple. Oh my John, come on, it's not even a choice, right? Love apple, right?
Yeah.
The way,
Yeah,
you know,
apple is
the title of
everything.
the winner of IFFNY. It's like apple
Yes,
and banana. Apple.
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 Everything and
Apple.
apple. Of course, of course, of course.
You're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Samsung or Apple. Apple.
But it's like choosing between a red apple and a green apple. You know,
I know
it's
it's
really like
hard
this.
for
You had
both.
you had you had amazing pieces there. It was very hard. It was very hard to decide.
Don't worry. That's why you vote. And, you know, the film or a director or an actor who gets more votes, you know, wins, you know. It's always difficult
Mhm.
because it's not a sport, you know, it's a
Mm-hmm.
subjective, it's a piece of
Mm-hmm.
art, and different themes, different projects, different messages. Something touches you, something touches me, something touches nobody, you know, so like, you never know what will what will be the best, you know, because
Mhm.
different people vote, right? So we have five incredible and different jury members from
Mhm.
Argentina, France, United States, Canada. I mean, so many people and so many brilliant filmmakers, female filmmakers, male filmmakers, and it's really nice to see you as a part of our festival. And just by the picture of our juries, you can tell that it's truly international
Yeah.
and different ages. You know, I really don't understand when sometimes I see juries of another festival, and they all are like 75, 85, and only like uh, legends or old filmmakers that maybe shot one film 50 years ago and nothing after. And they have experience, of course, but you should give a lifetime achievement award to such people. But in jury, you should have people of different ages, different vision, you know? You must have someone
Mhm.
young, you must have someone middle-aged, something older, you know? But like when you're like 80, I mean, you've achieved everything, you know? So you don't need to, you know, to prove anything to anyone or to judge. You should love everyone, you know, when you're that old.
Uh, it's also an experience, and it's also, you imagine to receive a prize from someone like this. It's wow. It's a huge honor,
Yeah.
also, you know.
No,
But I
lifetime
agree.
achievement,
You
you
know,
know, there is a
your
special
festival. I think
category.
if I can like have one word for your festival is diversity. This is the main word. So
Yes.
you have, yeah, Sabrina, you agree with me? It's really
Yes.
very. Mm.
It's international, you know, not like some festivals, you know, half of the awards stay in the country where it's held, you know. So it's like, is it national or international? I didn't get that one, you know. It's like,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
seriously?
I'm sorry. I'm moving. It's just battery, and just needed to take some.
I, I thought
Sorry.
you wanted to show us your apartment slash
Not my
The
birthday.
house.
Not
film.
my birthday. No.
No, but I agree that it was very diverse, and also between the genres, the different
Yes. Oh
genres.
my
I
God.
mean, in the fiction, in feature film, different genres and approaches, and also maybe some amateurs and also more professional, but everyone with his own proposal, artistic proposal. So in this sense, I see this orange and apples and green and red and everything, because that's why it's difficult to judge, because you have like your experience and your point of view, but you want to be just with all the material you're watching. So that's a hard job, but it's also I feel now actually that I grow with this watching this film. I grow more because I can see the point of view, and I also imagine the filmmakers like waiting to know if well, just being happy because they were selected at this festival, which is great. That is a very great news. And then after, maybe who are you going to push to advance in his or her way? So it's like a difficult selection, because you know you're going to change some life.
Yeah, of course. And as Paulo Coelho wrote, the winner stands alone. The strongest will win. There's only one winner in each category, right? And I agree with you, Sabrina. You grow as a viewer and as a filmmaker at the same time, because you see so many different projects, different filmmakers. You see how films are done in different parts of the world, and you're like, oh my God, same problems, same social problems, and different countries, but they all feel the same. People feel the same, and it's really interesting, for me as well. I've watched like 85 films of 100. I'm still watching. So it's so huge.
That's a lot.
It's like 10 films per day, and still, I mean, you need to have time to feel, to think. It's really hard to watch even two films one after another, two strong films, because it gets it brings strong emotions, and you're like, I can't watch like nonstop. You need to stop, you need a break, and then you can watch next one. And I mean, I remember myself as a student going to the cinema and watching 2 or 3 feature films a day when I had a day off, weekend. But it was difficult because you have so many emotions, So
but
one
you
film
get
per
used to
day is
it,
perfect.
no?
2, not easy. 3 is too much, So with shorts, it's easier,
It's like being in a festival. You want to watch as much films as you can per day, but sometimes after a few days, when you're 3 or 4 days watching 3 or 4 films per day, you are just like, your head starts to make connections and talk each other, and it's very weird, but a great experience also. So this is kind of similar. It's not the same, but it's kind of but it's true what you say. You have to stop because you need, like, some films are very, very strong, and you have to take a break and make a tea and make another thing, and let the story just to keep falling. And some others are more easygoing, but yes.
And it's
Actually, I remember there was like science fiction, comedy, melodrama, drama, some kind of thriller. So you're going like from one point to another very fast.
Yes, and it's hard to remember each plot of each film when you have like 100 films in the program, and that's why I write in my notebook. No, seriously, because
you take notes.
Many projects are about like different type of abuse, and you're like, oh, here we have like child abuse, here you have like other type of abuse, right? Like, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to confuse this, which one is this? So like many projects I've seen have no theme of love at all, especially short films, you know, I was amazed by the fact that there is no love in short films. Absolutely no love. There are problems, social problems, different, you know, topics, but there is no love. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, filmmakers don't feel love. They're not loved. You know? Nothing inspires them
What is going on?
No,
Very
seriously.
hard subject to abord. You imagine to speak about love.
Yes, it's hard, but I think it's necessary because if you
Of
see like
course.
I don't know 100 films and you don't see love there, it's like that's the theme for the next film because it's like what is happening?
No,
Yes.
Yeah.
what I said is that there is no love in 44 short films. I'm not saying about the
Yeah.
entire program, only 44, you know, like,
In the house.
yes, and you're like, okay, no love. I thought you have more love, you know, you know, in your life, in your art. So, it's really I found it really interesting, you know, and strange, you know, this year, you know, this edition. So,
Well, also
Sabrina,
it's true that the subjects are changing every year or
yes.
sometimes I like 10 years the same subject you see it everywhere and then something changed and everyone are doing another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe also it's kind of that and at this moment social issues are more strong maybe. So it also has to do with the context maybe and yeah. I
With
don't
life
think
itself.
the filmmakers don't have love because if you don't have love, you can't make your job. Actually, I mean, you have to love what you
No,
do.
no, you have to.
But
I have a question. When you say no love in films, you mean no love story?
Yes, no love
Okay.
scene,
No,
no
not about
love
yeah,
love story, because
story,
like
there are many films.
romantic story.
Yeah,
or like
it's a complicated thing. Yeah, of course.
or I mean, I'm not saying happy ending and beautiful love story, but like a broken heart or anything like that. And
Mhm.
you know, what happens after like a breakup or
So, Mina,
any
it's time
like.
to do love story. Go.
No, it's not my it's not my thing, you know. I'm not really good.
Maybe think about this. If you were looking, you know, to see a film about love story, maybe you can just create one.
You know, I'm kidding. Actually, I made a beautiful film with Paul Curti called Right to Love, and it's an
Wow.
international hit now. And it's about
Please
love between a Circassian
send.
girl and Albanian guy, so international and
Wow.
Mhm.
religious love and conflict. So you see that it's really topical, still topical. But what I'm saying is that, like, I mean, I can act that I love, but I don't believe in love in real life, you know. So, and I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one. I'm like, I have 44 colleagues that feel the same, you know.
That's why.
You know, I'm
That's
laughing
why.
because, for example, in our selection, Sabrina, I saw, for example, films about war, but there is such a love there. You know, you
Yes.
see a film about social problems, and there is Lariona Wayland that is writing the same thing here. I see there is love, but it's not, you know, love
Yeah,
between.
it's not the couple or the romantic love.
Yes, yes,
It's
it's
love
love.
in other ways.
Of
Yeah,
course, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. But I understand what Amina
Yeah,
was saying. Maybe
yeah.
yeah, you felt that because you see those points of view as yourself in reflected in those short films that are not talking about
You know,
romantic love.
No,
yes.
I'm
You know,
okay if it's hate, but it should be like
listen.
strong feelings, you know. It should be justified. No, seriously, it should be justified by the
Hmm.
script,
Listen,
and you
this is
see strong emotion. You know, you feel strong emotions. You know, that's how it should be, in my opinion. You know, either you love it or hate it, but not indifferent. You know.
Hmm.
mhm.
Yes.
So, you know, when I look at you, girls, I have a feeling that Sabrina is in her library and Victoria is in her museum, in her barton. Yes,
No, my dear, I will tell you,
so
I'm in my
beautiful.
library too. It's just the Parisian
Yeah,
library, and I'm
yeah.
hiding here because just behind me there are suitcases that I'm trying to go to see my family for so long, and just needed to go there 2 weeks ago, but then the war started, so I couldn't go there. So I'm hiding the suitcases.
Oh my
But
God.
whoa, I'm in library too, not a
Your
museum. No.
apartment is just incredible. Like so like
You
vintage,
are
you know.
always welcome. Thank you.
Oh, it's like
I
it's
like the
easy to
color,
see when
Sabrina.
borders
I
are
like your
closed.
color.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about
I
this
love
is
this
the
color.
color.
I put it because
Wow.
the green is my favorite color. So, and
Amazing.
because here the
Amazing.
light, because today is kind of cloudy, so I will put like in this other side, but it was very dark, so I was looking like where is the light, so I put here.
Yeah, this color is amazing. It's you always
Yeah, I
smiling
love
when
it
you see that.
too. Green, you know, like an ocean
Yeah,
blue, a little bit green in
yeah,
a way. I
yes.
remember your
It's very
video greeting
cinematic.
card.
It's very cinematic. It's very cinematic color,
Yeah,
actually.
it's a great color and it has good energy, so I love it.
Yes, I mean I love it too. And I remember your video greeting card last year, the one you did in 2020, and
Well, it was
it was
with this
there, you know, it
green.
was shot there with that background,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
I remember it. You know, it's so cool, and
The
I really
dress,
love seeing
the dress of the
in the
protagonist
apartment.
was
You
like
don't
this
see that
color.
often in
Yeah.
filmmakers' apartments today, unfortunately. Yeah, not many
Yes.
people read
I hope
actually,
we
you
will
know,
meet
video
all
books.
together once the next year. I really want to see you girls together, like normally,
Yes,
not
it would be great if we
Same
can
yeah.
here.
travel.
Same
Next
here.
year. I
I look the
hope.
same in real life, you know, as people say, "Oh, you're just the same as in, you know, on Facebook." You know, I'm like, "Yeah, you know, just the same." You know. Oh, so we have Natasha Mashkevich writing us, "Hey, so happy to see you both again, Victoria and Amina." Hi, Natasha. We are happy to see you too. Natasha's film Iktam
To
is in the
Natasha.
program of IFFNY. It's a beautiful short film about
Cross
a dog.
fingers.
Such this is love, you know, love between
Exactly.
the dog and his master, right? So it's really, really touching, you know. But I mean, love between people, you know, like I don't see love between people in films. So I kind of understand what Natasha is going through because now I really want to work with animals in the zoo. It's more sweet than working with people on set. So maybe I will go back to set if I have a co-star like Natasha, a beautiful dog or a beautiful koala. So
Do you
someone,
remember that
of
Natasha was the main role in Olmajan in my film?
of course,
Yes.
lead
So
actress
I
and now
promise that it
filmmaker.
was also very cute with her, not only with her dog.
Yeah, I know she is gorgeous and a brilliant, talented actress and a
Yes.
filmmaker. So actor slash, you know, and
Yes.
that's what everyone should do if they want to make it in a film industry, in art. So to risk, to try something new. And the greatest filmmakers are former actors, actually, you know, Clint Eastwood,
Hmm.
you know, Charlie Chaplin. So like a lot of great filmmakers started as actors and later they were like, I have a lot to say, you know, and I will say through my films. So they believed in themselves, worked hard, and they made it, you know. But this first step is really hard to make. And Natasha made it, and her film is
Big
in the
time.
program. Yes. So, congrats to Natasha, congrats to Victoria, and
Thank you.
Sabrina, our jury members and winners of IFFNY 2020. It's so good to see you. And now you can say that what I predicted happened, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
right? You
you're
know?
a witch. You're a good witch.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm not a witch, you know. I'm a little
a good one.
psychic, you know. I should get paid for that, right? So I'm a real psychic, you know. Don't believe everyone you see on the street. So what I predict really happens, you know.
Hmm.
And it's always something good, you know, and positive.
Yeah, that's why I said good one. A good one.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, girls, for joining. And
Thank you very
I'm
much.
sure you had a fantastic time watching films and judging. I can't wait
Completely.
to see the results of your judgment. You know, as I said in the Bible, the judgment comes, and that right soon. So see you on May 24th, and we'll learn the results all together, right? So, guys,
Yeah.
check out IFFNY Festival page on Instagram, and also International Filmmaker Festival of New York on Facebook, and learn about the program, about filmmakers, about jury members, their biographies, you know, their background, their works, and of course, the winners. So, can't wait, you know. See you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you
See
so
you
much
soon
for this
also. Thank
honor
you so
and
much.
this pleasure. Sabrina, I was so happy to see you again.
Me too. Me too.
I hope we
I'm
will meet.
always happy.
Me too,
Yeah,
me too,
talking with you.
me
Thank
too,
you.
me too.
And it was a pleasure also, and very great honor. And thank you for the trust. And best of the luck of everyone with all of the films. All of them were very
Completely,
good. So
completely,
yeah,
completely. And congratulations to everyone because to be
to
selected to a
everyone.
festival, it's
Yes.
already you won already.
Yes, of course. Being selected, you know, out of almost 900 films. Can you imagine that? You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Wow,
it's a miracle.
wow.
So being a
Yes,
part of such
completely,
program, it's an honor, you know, especially
completely.
along with outstanding filmmakers, acclaimed actors, so like Matt Mahurin, director of Metallica videos, and like Motley Crue. I mean, Cher, Marilyn Manson. So we have outstanding filmmakers acclaimed in the program, and if you have someone promising, brilliant, and young filmmaker next to this director, and having the same chance and opportunity to show the film, it's incredible. It's
Yes,
honest and
Mm-hmm.
honest competition, and an honor, you know, to be a part of such a program, in my opinion.
completely, completely. And
Yes.
that I would like to thank especially to you, Amina, and to Marika for this
Hmm.
festival because really you do great. You do great. It's a
Thanks.
great festival and it's 10
Yes.
years edition this time. And this is really congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
very big, very big. Me too. Also, congratulations for both of you. And I mean, we haven't talked with Mika. I don't know her personally, but I will like to meet you, all of you, next year in live in New York, maybe, and visit the city and having the experience of the festival. And I love this festival, so
Oh,
I'm
thanks. I
I'm
mean,
very glad to be part of this.
it will be in New York for sure, you know. But
Yeah,
speaking of borders, nobody knows when, you know, it will be live,
yeah.
you know, so that everyone can travel.
Cross
Hopefully
fingers.
soon, hopefully next year. So we'll pray for that, and can't wait to see you again.
Yes. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Have a
Thank
great time.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So that's Victoria Yakubov and Sabrina Moreno, our jury members. I'm so glad you girls joined today, this live panel with jury members. So all juries talk to me, and you know, you guys heard, you know, that their experience was incredible. You know, the films they've seen impressed them a lot, you know, and impacted, you know. It was hard to choose, but we'll see the results of their work soon, you know. We'll learn about the winners in 3 days. So just wait a little bit. So thanks a lot everyone who was watching. Hi everyone. Hi, hi, hi. Yes, and see you tomorrow. I'll have an IG Live with directors of feature films and feature documentaries. I mean, these live panels will be amazing. Thank you so much, and till next time.